Now let's talk about attached properties and behaviors and how they form a communication path between views and view models for scenarios where commands and property change notifications are not sufficient. Attached properties are a special kind of dependency property and are a fundamental part of all XAML platforms. They can be defined in any class and then can be applied to any object that derives from dependency object, which all UI elements do. Attached properties are used for a lot of things in XAML. Examples include grid layout, tooltip behaviors, and text formatting. But they also form the basis for custom behaviors, because when an attached property is set on some element, you can wire up a change handler that can make programmatic calls against the exposed API of the control it's being attached to, doing things like subscribing to events or setting properties on the control. As a result, you can create what is called a behavior with just a custom attached property. But the more common way is to leverage the open source XAML behaviors for WPF. The behaviors functionality that is in the open source project came from what was originally the Blend SDK, but the code for them was open sourced by Microsoft at the end of 2018. So now you can just add them to your projects as a NuGet package published from that open source project named XAML Behaviors for WPF. Even when you use the Behaviors for WPF package, the behaviors get attached to UI elements through attached properties, which are defined as part of that library. Behaviors can expose their own dependency properties and thus form a communication bridge between views and view models, because the behavior can subscribe to events on the element it's being attached to or monitor property changes on it, and can then dispatch calls into the view model as a result, either through commands or by setting a data-bound property on the behavior that points to the view model, or by directly invoking a method on the view model. In the other direction, the behavior can be bound to a property exposed by the view model that's either an interface with events on it or just a data property that raises property or collection changed events. Code in the behavior can use that as a trigger to go do something to the element on which the behavior is attached, or some other element or elements in the UI that are reachable through the visual tree of that behavior's element. I'm sure that's all a little abstract if you've never worked with or implemented behaviors before, so let's go look at a couple of demos that will make this all more concrete.